Tonight, we pay tribute to the 2020 four-pillar honoree, Doug Hertz, inside the incredible Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta leadership gathers in celebrating Doug, including Governor Brian Kemp, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, Shan Cooper, Larry Gellerstedt, Russ Hardin, Steve Seelig, and Comer Yates. Coming up, enjoy a musical tribute by the Peachtree String Quartet. And later, don't miss appearances by honorary co-chairs Arthur Blank and Bernie Marcus. And special guests Matt Ryan, Matt Kuchar, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, as we count down to our main event, please enjoy a history of Camp Twin Lakes.
The genesis for Camp Twin Lakes really came out of a need, and it came out of my involvement with Camp Sunshine. And I had volunteered at Camp Sunshine. It was the summer of '88 or '89. They had a small board back then, and I found out there wasn't a place to go have camp.
He was on the board of Camp Sunshine, and they needed a new site. There was another program that needed a site. Doug decided that this was an undertaking that he would take himself.
There were basically 5 or 6 of these different camping programs that were specific for children with special needs. I literally asked the question, why hasn't anybody tried to get all of these groups together to build a permanent facility?
There was lots of enthusiasm. I didn't hear a whole lot of investment from anybody that day. So Doug began his purpose of creating Camp Twin Lakes.
They need a specific week of the summer that they can count on as their own. They need specially designed cabins, medical facilities, volunteer medical professionals, and they need a beautiful site.
Doug Hertz discovered that having one site through a Camp Twin Lakes would really make everybody's life easier. And it would give quality products, and we could have a staff and train our staff so that they could deal with all the challenges and all the adaptive camping that the children require.
The camp was set up so it was totally handicap accessible, so that children, all needs, could participate there. And it was set up like a regular children's summer camp. Horseback riding, waterfront activities, swimming, boating, tennis, every activity that kids would participate in a regular summer camp, we had at Camp Twin Lakes from the very start.
It literally just came out of a discussion. Everybody said, well, that's a great idea. Who's going to do that? And so I said, well, look, I'll investigate it. I'm all in for Camp Sunshine. I went to ask some people that I trusted in the nonprofit world. And Charlie Yates, Comer's dad, was the lay leader in the community who had raised more money, been involved in all these nonprofits.
My dad, who's been involved in many fundraising efforts during his lifetime, said that Doug's efforts were the single best effort by any individual he'd ever seen in raising the money for Camp Twin Lakes.
We sat down with Doug as our leader and talked about whether or not we could possibly raise $3 million. Was I wrong? We raised $5 million. I'm glad I was wrong.
Doug inspires a whole lot of confidence because he's demonstrated such great judgment and this great capacity for being concerned about other people.
Dorothy Jordan and Sally Hale back then from Camp Sunshine helped me convene a group of all the executive directors for the different camping programs. We asked Larry Melnick, who was overseeing the Jewish Community Center camp. So those were sort of the original meetings.
Larry and Doug as a team were a powerful combination. Larry had the expertise around camping. Doug, of course, had his own capacities and abilities, and they formed an amazing leadership group, and then that became to include Dan working in the camping, and of course so many other people have been added since then.
We continued on. We added another camp the following year, and more children, more staff, and that progressed every year. And I was fortunate enough to add additional full-time staff, a secretary. Down the road we hired a development director, and we continued to move forward, and camp grew and grew until it became what it is today.
And now, please enjoy a musical tribute by the Peachtree String Quartet. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Pillar Tribute could not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. For a full listing of our sponsors, please view the digital program below the video. On behalf of the Council and Mr. Doug Hertz, we thank you for your support. Our presenting sponsors this evening are the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, Delta Airlines, E&J Gallo Winery, Georgia Power Company, the Home Depot Foundation, and the Marcus Foundation. Our signature sponsors tonight are Floor & Decor, the Quikrete Companies, and the Winchester family. Our diamond sponsors tonight are Assurance America Corporation, AT&T, the Atlanta Business Chronicle, Atlanta Gaslight, the Atlanta Regional Commission, Liz and Frank Blake, Brown & Foreman, Vicki and Ron Kanakaris, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, The Coca-Cola Company, Cooper Holdings, Cox Enterprises, Burt Ellis and Ellis Capital, the Georgia World Congress Center, Global Payments, Holder Construction, Iberia Bank and First Horizon, Jackson Family Wines, King and Spalding, Barbara and Ed Mendel, Morgan Stanley, National Distributing Company, Piedmont Healthcare, Seelig Enterprises, Jeff Sprecher and Kelly Leffler, Synovus, Trincaro Family Estates, and Truist. And our platinum sponsors tonight are the Aerotropolis Atlanta CIDs, Donna and David Allman, Atlantic Capital Bank, Bacardi, the Cohen-Kogan family, Comcast, Cousins, Cumberland CID, Denton's, Gas South, Georgia Pacific, Georgia Ports Authority, Molson Coors, Montag Wealth, Pete Moratakis, Morris Manning and Martin, National Vision, Niles Bolton Associates, North Fulton CID, the Perimeter CIDs, PNC, Regions Bank, the Savannah Distributing Company, Shepherd Center, Taylor and Mathis, Town Center CID, the UPS Foundation, and the Woodruff Arts Center. Thank you again to our incredible sponsors.
Hello, Doug, and congratulations. Your continued support and dedication to the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra has been invaluable to the musicians and staff here at the ASO, as well as to the Atlanta arts community. On behalf of the entire Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, thank you and congratulations on this much-deserved recognition of your many contributions to the Atlanta community.
Oh, the door's locked. What's going on here?
I'm not sure where they're at.
We got 2 minutes. Oh, Michael, we're supposed to be in the Benz. We gotta go. Oh, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Council for Quality Growth's 2020 Four-Pillar Tribute, honoring Doug Hertz. The Council for Quality Growth is Metro Atlanta's leading advocate for responsible development. Our region will welcome nearly 3 million people over the next 3 decades. Only the Council will work on behalf of the development industry to collaborate with elected officials and government staff to ensure that Metro Atlanta thrives. The Council for Quality Growth was founded on the pillars of quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity. In 1990, the Council established the Four-Pillar Tribute upon those same pillars to recognize the work and impact of leaders who have transformed our region and state. The Council remains the only organization that works exclusively for the development industry, serving at the intersection of public policy and private investment. We invite you to become involved today. And now, please welcome the Council for Quality Growth's President and CEO, Michael Paris, and the 2020 Chairman, Paul Corley.
Good evening. I'm Michael Paris, President and CEO of the Council for Quality Growth.
And I'm Paul Corley, the 2020 Chairman of the Council, and it is an honor that I'm here tonight to present the 2020 Four-Pillar Award.
It's our pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the Council for Quality Growth's 2020 Four-Pillar Tribute, here from the International Plaza on the campus of the Georgia World Congress Center.
Tonight's a little bit different, as you can see. We wish we were here in the Georgia Ballroom, shaking hands and seeing you all face to face right about now. But we hope you'll kick back from the comfort of your home, maybe with a celebratory drink, to our honoree in hand, and stick around for what is sure to be a unique evening.
That's right, Paul. It's going to be a great evening for sure. We're here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, home of the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United.
We're honored to be here, and we want to especially thank Arthur Blank, Rich McKay, Mike Egan, and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium team for hosting us and all they did to contribute to this special event.
So, Paul, I think it's about time we tell them about our tremendous 2020 Four-Pillar honoree, don't you?
Hold on, Michael. I'd love to, but first, how about a little bit of dramatic buildup? This award has previously been given to 30 deserving leaders for their considerable contributions to economic growth and well-being of the Atlanta region and the state. You can see a full list of honorees in the digital program located below the video on your screens. Each honoree was selected due to their embodiment of the 4 pillars of leadership, which the Council was founded on: quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity.
And boy, I miss seeing our previous honorees in person. But tonight, we'll hear from 2 of them. Joining us later will be 2014 honoree Mr. Steve Seelig, speaking on responsibility, and our 2019 honoree, Mr. Larry Gellerstadt, speaking on vision. We'll also hear from Ms. Shan Cooper, speaking on quality, and Mr. Russ Harden, speaking on integrity.
Also, Michael, our Master of Ceremonies guiding us through tonight is a longtime friend of our honoree, Mr. Comer Yates.
And finally, we'd like to thank our honorary co-chairs, Arthur Blank and Bernie Marcus, and a special thank you to the tribute chairs and host committee who helped bring this event together.
Now, most importantly, we welcome Doug Hertz, his family, friends, and colleagues, and to all our sponsors and guests, thank you for joining us in celebrating Doug.
We imagine you all know Doug pretty well by now. But on the off chance you might not, you'll know him very well by the end of this evening.
And I'd like to say to Doug, it's been a wonderful experience getting to know you personally this year. You're humble and kind, generous with your time and leadership. And on behalf of the Council for Quality Growth, please know we're all thankful for your impact you continue to leave on the region we all call home.
Doug, your contributions are truly felt by all. And so tonight we pay tribute to you, to the work you've done for a quality metro region. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 60th mayor of the great city of Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Good evening. I'm Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and it is my pleasure to welcome you tonight to the 4-Pillar Tribute as we honor my good friend Doug Hertz for his outstanding contributions to our city and our region. If there's one person who I know loves Atlanta nearly as much as I do, I know that it's Doug Hertz. Thank you to the Council for Quality Growth for once again sponsoring this wonderful event. As a native Atlantan whose family's business goes back to 1940, Doug has witnessed and been a part of Atlanta's historic rise and exciting progress. His philanthropy and leadership are models for civic engagement. Through his chairmanship of iconic institutions such as Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and the Woodruff Arts Center, he has left a mark on the body and soul of this city. As a mother, I am especially appreciative of the fact that Doug is a tireless champion for children's health through his work with CHOA and Camp Twin Lakes. As a leader, I respect his courageous public endorsement of the hate crimes bill in Georgia, and I welcome his strategic thinking and problem-solving abilities. He is always ready to answer my call and do any and everything that's necessary to help us in the city of Atlanta. As mayor, I am personally thankful for the role that Doug played in my transition following my election, and also for his service on the board of the Atlanta Committee for Progress, where he remains a steady influence on our city as we navigate an unprecedented year in the life of Atlanta and the country as a whole. For all these reasons and many more, Doug Hertz is and always will be a special Atlantan. And for all of his generous and heroic work, I am sending my sincerest congratulations as the 60th mayor of Atlanta and on behalf of our city. Doug, we are grateful for you. We appreciate you. And from the bottom of my heart, congratulations. Good evening to you all.
Thank you, Mayor Bottoms, for such a warm welcome. We appreciate you being with us tonight.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and thank you all for tuning in. We have some special guest appearances tonight. Michael and I are going to run inside to catch the tribute speakers. While we do, please enjoy a special message from a dear friend of Doug's. Enjoy the show.
We'll see you inside.
Doug, congratulations on the 2020 4-Pillar Tribute honoree. I'm glad all that advice I have given you throughout the years has finally paid off for you. Seriously, Doug, I know this award is most deserving because you are always giving back to your community, and I know you will continue to do just that. I also know this is a very prestigious award, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be giving you any more putts. You take enough as it is. Again, congratulations. This is a most deserving award.
Welcome to the 2020 4-Pillar Tribute here in spectacular Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm Comer Yates, and I'm incredibly lucky to claim our honoree Doug Hertz as my dear friend for the past 56 years, and I'm very honored to serve as Master of Ceremonies this evening. Tonight, we welcome you to spend time in this very special place. Currently, I'm here in the Gull Wing Suite, also known as the Owner Suite. As a minority owner of the Falcons, Doug and his family have shared many memories in this building cheering on the birds. I have missed this place. I know we all have. Wait, what's that sound? Listen, listen. Rise up! A-T-L. Those are unmistakable sounds of the spirit of Atlanta. I can't wait for when we are all back here to experience them. But here tonight, when the stadium's empty and the roars of the crowd are on pause, we have the chance to pay attention to other sounds that reflect that same spirit, including the voices of thousands and thousands of children at Camp Twin Lakes and at Children's Healthcare, whose lives have been forever changed by Doug's devotion to them. Doug is their champion and a selfless friend and partner in so many other causes that seek to make our city and state better. He is a poster person for the Council for Quality Growth's 2020 Four-Pillar Tribute. In fact, if there were a family award, the Hertzes would be hands down winners. At a retire the trophy level, in fact, for such recognition. I've known 5 generations of Doug's family, from his wonderful, dear grandparents and parents to his wonderful, dear children and grandchildren, with Doug and his extraordinary sister Patty in between. To use a tortured sports analogy, while the Hertzes have benefited from this homegrown Atlanta talent, never has their family, our city, been better served than through their free agency signing, marriage to Doug, of Hall of Fame great person and community servant Lila Hertz. The Council for Quality Growth was founded on the pillars of quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity. And it's been my great privilege to watch Doug live those values over and over again from the moment I reconnected with him on the first day of 7th grade. I knew immediately that I wanted to be his friend, but I never could have imagined the difference that he would make in my life and the lives of countless others in the years that have followed. Beyond the opportunity to honor Doug, it is also a distinct pleasure to introduce our tribute speakers, who will each address one of the Council's 4 pillars. I have tremendous respect for each of them for so many reasons. Given their own singular qualities and unconditional commitment to our city and all of its residents, their participation this evening says so much about Doug. Our first tribute speaker tonight is Shan Cooper. Shan was already known in the Metro Atlanta community for being a dynamic leader and facilitating progress. So when she took the helm of the Atlanta Committee for Progress, where Doug serves on the board and is a past chair, we knew great and important things would happen, and she's exceeded those very high expectations. To speak on the pillar of quality, please welcome Shan Cooper.
Good evening. It's an honor to join you in celebration of my friend, my mentor, my dear colleague, Doug Hertz. Congratulations, Doug, on this well-deserved award. And I would be remiss if I didn't also pause and congratulate Lila. Lila, I just want to say thank you for sharing Doug with all of us. I was asked to speak this evening about Doug and the pillar of quality. While I cannot speak to the quality of Doug's golf game, or the lack thereof, I can authoritatively speak to the quality of his character and the quality of his leadership. The quality of Doug's character is best summed up by the words of actor Denzel Washington. He said, "At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better." Doug thrives on making all of us better. I first worked with Doug in 2013 when he served as the chair of the Woodruff Arts Center Board. The first time. Yes, he's back in 2020 serving as chair again. But during the first time of his service, it was a time of great challenge for the Arts Center. During that period of service, it was how Doug responded that defined his character for me. He led with unmatched integrity and courage. He cared about the people and the institution. He listened, sought to understand diverse views and perspective. He brought as many as possible into the problem-solving efforts. Then he made the tough decisions, while repeatedly encouraging and expressing the optimism about the center's future. Doug led us through a time of uncertainty with grace and passion. He brought us and the Woodruff Center to a place of destiny, a man of quality character and quality leadership. It's not just his reputation, it's who he truly is. I again served with Doug as a member of Mayor Keisha Lance Bottom's transition team, serving as his co-chair for the search for the Chief Procurement Officer. Once again, he rolled up his sleeves and fully engaged. It was as if he had forgotten that he was the driving force in the success and growth of a little company up the street called United Distributors. At this moment, he was committed to the work and gave attention to every detail. If you've ever had the privilege of working with Doug, you know that he will own the situation, that he's committed to excellence and to ensuring the success of a quality outcome. I also had the privilege to work for Doug when he served as the chair of the board for the Atlanta Committee for Progress. In this role, Doug was a strategic visionary who never lost sight of those who needed lifting up. For example, under his leadership, the Center for Workforce Innovation at Atlanta Technical College was launched. It was developed and designed to ensure the participation of all of our neighbors in the prosperity of our city by removing barriers to student achievement and committing to living wage jobs at the end of the skill development and learning process. Doug did not personally know any of the individual students, but he knew he could not stand on the sideline and not work hard to address the inequities that existed. The same was true when, as the Committee for Progress board member, Doug led the organization design and implementation of the West Side Future Fund. Here again, he gave up his time, his talent, and his treasure, determined to lift up others and to make us all better. So you can see, I have been blessed to work with Doug in several capacities, including serving with him on several corporate boards. And in every engagement, I personally witnessed his eagerness to ensure the right things were done to lead to the ultimate successful quality outcome. In every engagement, Doug is selfless and empathetic to the plight of others. He is the quintessential quality leader, confident yet humble, a leader who will tell it like it is, never tiptoeing around what's right, and always there when you call for help. Doug's quality leadership of countless teams, organizations, and endeavors has ensured the success and accomplishments of so many. His impact is enduring and will be felt by many for generations to come. So Doug, I thank you for lifting me up. I thank you for making me better. Atlanta, Georgia, we're a better state because of you. So thank you, my friend, and congratulations.
Doug, congratulations on being the award recipient of the 4-Pillar Award. You are unquestionably deserving. And on behalf of all of your Atlanta Falcons organization, we say congratulations, and we say most importantly, thank you. Thanks for all you do in the community. Thanks for everything you've done in the community. You're not a guy that just woke up yesterday and decided to play his part. You've done it your entire life, and you've done it with great success. So congratulations. I'd also like to say congratulations to Miss Lila, because I know what an important part she plays. But thank you for everything you've done, and congratulations. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Shannon Rich. Well said. I'm here in Doug's suite and having a great time. You know, when they built this stadium, they really thought everything. The sight lines are amazing. I can see right over to where they're filming the show right now. Let me introduce you to our next tribute speaker, Mr. Steve Seelig. Steve and Doug also go way back. They've been intertwined civically, charitably, religiously, and they're even old travel buddies. So intertwined are they that in 2014, when Steve was honored, Doug was a tribute speaker for him as well. So it only makes sense that Steve would come back to give his side of the story. Speaking on the pillar of responsibility, please welcome Steve Seelig.
Well, thank you, Comer. Everyone, please sit down, take a chair. It's not about me tonight, it's about Doug Hertz, okay? It's an honor for me to be here this evening to talk about our friend Doug. My focus of the 4 pillars centers around responsibility. You're going to hear that word quite often the next 3 or 4 minutes, and there couldn't be a more appropriate word. You know, most people in this world are satisfied to just let things happen. A very few, like Doug Hertz, feel the responsibility to make things happen. Winston Churchill once said that the price of greatness is responsibility. Doug got his responsibility from his family. Regarding the arts, he felt responsible for seeing that the arts community in Atlanta would be improved and live up to its potential. So what did he do? Well, he didn't just buy a ticket to the symphony or one of the many shows at the Alliance or at the museum. No, he became chairman of the board of the Woodruff Arts Center. Not once, but he's doing it again a second time. In addition, the Hertz stage was renamed in 2000 in recognition of his parents' extraordinary generosity to the Alliance Theater. Generosity Doug and Lila have continued and strengthened with their own extraordinary support. And by the way, Lila stands right beside him, presently serving as the chairman of the board of the Alliance Theater. Doug felt a responsibility to improve education in the city and elsewhere. So what did he do? Well, he didn't just join the PTA. No, he became chairman of the board of Trinity School, a board member at Westminster, and finally, he became chairman of the board of his alma mater, Tulane University. Let's talk about health care for a minute. Doug felt a special responsibility to help the children and adults in our community, and in particular, the special needs children and adults in our community. So he didn't just write a check. No, he served as chairman of the board of Children's Health Care, and he founded and became chairman of Camp Twin Lakes, the camp which now serves nearly 10,000 people a year. You know, Doug has always been an avid sports fan. He's a great Falcons supporter and felt the responsibility to support the team. So he didn't just buy season tickets to the Falcon games. No, he became a limited partner with the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, according to him, the part he owns is not responsible for any of the team's losses. Oh, and by the way, he also co-chaired Atlanta's bid to land the 2019 Super Bowl and chaired the Super Bowl host committee. As you might imagine, it's rumored that Doug was very responsible in getting the recent law passed that allows for home delivery of alcoholic beverages. But that success was not enough. There's a new rumor that Doug is lobbying for another law that would require everyone to have larger mailboxes, large enough to at least hold a case of Jack Daniels. In addition to all this, he still has his priorities straight. Number one is family. His wife Lila and he have 4 children, Amy and Ronnie, Michael and Emily. And as he likes to say, 5 perfect grandchildren: Zach, Jill, Noah, Elle, and Jennings. He loves to coach and play with them whether it be in Atlanta, Hilton Head, or anywhere else they can get together. Doug works quietly, often behind the scenes, never asking for recognition. In fact, I know for certain that he's embarrassed by this attention. He doesn't think he's deserving of this evening and award because, in fact, he doesn't think of himself at all. All of his thoughts and his actions are for others. As I'd stated, he's done a lot to make this a better city and a better world for us to live in, always maintaining his humility and compassion in everything he does. I sometimes wonder if there's anything Doug cannot do. For instance, I'm sure that you've all read the great advance that was made recently between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, where they finally normalized relations. I'm not sure who was ultimately responsible, but I want everyone listening to me tonight to know that I checked Doug's passport, and I did see that there was a Dubai customs stamp in it. So maybe he was involved, maybe not. You draw your own conclusions. So let me end on a very personal note. Our families have known each other and been friends for close to 100 years, going all the way back to our grandparents. I've known Doug for at least 60 of those years. He's a true and loyal friend to so many, and I'm so proud to be one of them. Linda and I consider Doug and Lila to be among our very closest and very dearest friends. As the author George R.R. Martin once said, heroes are the dreamers, those men and women who tried to make the world a better place than when they found it, whether in small ways or great ones. Some succeeded, some failed, most had mixed results. But it's the effort that's heroic. Win or lose, I admire those who fight the good fight. So in conclusion, Doug, we wish you all the strength, courage, wisdom, and responsibility to continue to fight the good fight. Doug, congratulations.
Steve, thank you, as I know that your kind words mean so much to Doug coming from you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our governor, Brian Kemp, for his own tribute message to Doug.
I'm proud to join the Council for Quality Growth in celebrating the 2020 Four-Pillar Tribute honoree, Doug Hertz. Doug, you've proven yourself to be a true leader, both in business and in civics. You exemplify the Council's mission, and you truly demonstrate the four pillars of leadership: quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity. In the arts and in healthcare, you've helped organizations overcome significant challenges. And in your community, you've kept your promise to look out for the well-being of all Georgians. Our state is blessed to have your service, and we thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. Congratulations, and God bless.
Hey Doug, congratulations on being the recipient of the 2020 Four-Pillar Award. I can't think of anyone more deserving. I know Sibby and I have so enjoyed being a part of Camp Twin Lakes and helping send so many kids to camp. But your efforts go so far beyond that. I'm not sure I can think of anyone who has the time and energy that you do to put into so many great endeavors around Atlanta and the state of Georgia. You're an inspiration to us all. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Governor and Matt, for helping us pay tribute to Doug. Our next speaker received the Four-Pillar Tribute last year, and Doug was one of his tribute speakers. I love spending time with Doug and spending time with Larry Gillerstadt, but things are really special when the two of them are together. Exhibits A and B, Children's Healthcare and the Woodruff Arts Alliance, and along with so many others. Like Doug, Larry continues to pay his civic rent and has done a staggering amount of community and philanthropic work behind the scenes here in Atlanta. Here to pay back the favor, speaking on the pillar of vision, is Larry Gillerstadt.
Steve Seelig and I have been talking in preparation for this evening, and we have decided to congratulate the council on the third best recipient of this award. Doug, you weren't close to first or second, but you beat out fourth by a hair, so congratulations. In all seriousness, I want to congratulate the council for hosting this evening, as well as making Doug Hertz the recipient of this prestigious award. Doug certainly embodies each of the four pillars But he not only embodies them, he embodies them with a generous, caring, and loving spirit. And I count as a great blessing, and I'm grateful for the friendship that I have with Doug and Lila Hertz. I've been asked to address the pillar of vision. As a builder and developer, an easy definition to me of vision is someone that can look at a piece of real estate or a piece of property and see beyond what's there in the current picture and see a future picture of something that makes it better for the community and for the community citizens. I think of Tom Cousins, I think of John Portman in our industry, but vision, to really be impactful, not only requires the vision, but the ability to translate that vision into reality. That's the real special sauce. Doug has both of those traits in spades. I'm going to concentrate my remarks on Doug's ability and his vision to our community. But as a long friend of Doug's, I could just as easily talk about those in regard to his faith, his business, and his family. The first time I really got to know Doug, he's much older than I am, is he came to me in the 80s with an idea. He said, I want to develop a camp for kids with disability. And I've got an opportunity on a piece of property to develop that camp. And I'd like to ask you to participate in the process of creating that. And one of the ways that I was thinking might work is if all the contractors could come together and work as a team to help build that camp at a greatly reduced cost. Well, as a contractor in those days, contractors coming together was a bit of an oxymoron. We competed. Think of, Tech and Georgia fans just getting together every Saturday for breakfast. It was not an easy feat. But all of us, when we heard Doug's passion and his vision, it was a no-brainer. And so all the area contractors came together. It took Doug's vision to make that happen. And we got most of the materials donated. We donated most of the labor, and we helped Doug develop that vision. Well, that vision today has served tens of thousands of campers and made such a difference in not only those campers' lives, but their families' lives. Doug hasn't quit being involved in Twin Lakes. He's relentless about his passions and making sure that those recipients continue to have that gift that the camp provides. Well, let's fast forward a little bit, about a decade. And Doug was part of a small group of people that I was also involved with that saw our two children's hospitals, which were vicious competitors. You talk about Tech and Georgia, Scottish Rite and Eggleston were the definition of competitive. And we came together to see if not only we could get them to work in a more constructive way for the benefit of the community, but to see if we might get them to combine. Well, somebody like me that's a builder, I could really focus on the combination. That was a task to get done. And it was a complicated task, but we got that done. And Doug, though, could see beyond the task of getting it done. And he could see not only combining those hospitals to stabilize that important resource for our community, but he could see making it in for one of the top children's hospitals in the country. And he, like everything, with relentless passion, pursued that vision and led that vision as one of the early chairmen of Children's Healthcare. I was talking to Donna Highland today. In 2019, Children's Healthcare saw 1.2 million patients. 1.2 million. Neither of those hospitals were rated in the top 25 in the country. Today, most of Children's Hospitals programs are rated in the top 5 or 10 in the country. What a gift. I could give many other examples of Doug's leadership in the community, but I want to bring it current. Early April, we're all with our stay-in-place orders, sitting in our houses, worried about, what we're going to do, thinking of the inconveniences and the fears. So I called Doug up and just said, "Hey, what's going on? What you doing?" Just sort of thought we'd commiserate. And Doug said, "Yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all these restaurants that are customers of mine that are shut down. And I'm thinking about all these healthcare workers and first responders out there that are just, gosh, what a predicament they're in. And I'm thinking about, can we combine the unused capacity in these restaurants with providing free meals for these first responders and healthcare workers, benefit the restaurants by giving them a little bit of revenue, and certainly what a way to thank our healthcare workers. And then philanthropy would pay the difference." Well, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't thinking about such a thing in early April sitting on my porch. Well, not only did Doug think about that, but he and the Cox Foundation and many others are still on a weekly basis providing free meals for area healthcare workers and first responders. As a matter of fact, so far, they've almost provided 115,000 meals. That's vision combined with passion, with a relentless desire to make that happen. So, Doug, I can't imagine a better friend than you and Lila. We are lucky in this community that we got another generation, the fourth of Hertz leadership. Michael and Amy will carry on that generation, that family's contribution. But we are all beneficiaries of the Hertz family, and Doug and Lila, congratulations on tonight.
Thanks so much, Larry. You and Doug have really been amazing partners on behalf of our city in so many different ways. Gosh, there's not a bad seat in the house here. Wait a minute, my phone's ringing. Gosh, it's Matt Ryan. I wonder what he's got to say.
Doug, congratulations on being honored with the 4-Pillar Award. The City of Atlanta is very lucky to have your guidance and leadership. Having known you for 13 years, I think you represent these 4 pillars of quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity extremely well. Enjoy the evening, congratulations, and hopefully I'll see you at a game or out on the golf course sometime soon.
Thanks, Matt, and good luck this season. Rise up! And now it's time for our last speaker this evening, Russ Harden, who is president of the Woodruff Foundation. You've heard about so many projects tonight, and the Woodruff Foundation has been behind all of those. In addition to the foundation's philanthropy, as a core part of all that support has been Russ's great judgment and counsel. Our last speaker this evening, speaking on the Pillar of Integrity, Russ Harden.
It is an honor and a privilege for me to join the Council for Quality Growth in paying tribute to my friend Doug Hertz. Doug is a homegrown Atlantan who represents the very best of our city and who embodies the 4 pillars of leadership in his professional, his civic, and his personal life. I'm indebted to Comer not only for his nice introduction tonight, but also for introducing me to Doug several decades ago. Since then, Doug and Lila and the Hertz family have become as good of friends as the Hardens have anywhere. I met Doug and Lila when I first moved to Atlanta, almost 40 years ago. About 30 years old at the time, Doug already was assuming primary responsibility for a family business established by his grandfather. 90% of family businesses do not survive the 3rd generation. I'm told that there's a Chinese proverb which roughly translated says shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. The 3rd generation is prone to forget the principles of hard work, attention to detail, discipline, and customer focus on which successful businesses are built. Not so in Doug's case. Doug assumed leadership of United Distributors at an uncommonly young age and led the enterprise to exceptional growth. Doug took new risks and led in bold fashion, but he never forgot to treat customers, employees, and business partners with the same fairness, respect, and high standards on which the business was built. Doug didn't learn all of those principles in business school. He learned them at home because Doug, as we say in the South, was raised right. He was raised in a family defined by strong faith and values. Those same core values are at the root not only of Doug's business ethics, but also his devotion to family and community. In a life lived truly with integrity, there are not separate rules or standards for business and personal life. In such a life, and in Doug's life, right is right and wrong is wrong. Doug's strong moral compass gives him the courage of his convictions and makes him the decisive, strong, and compelling leader that he is. Doug is now a proud father and grandfather, but I smile to think of how proud his parents would be to see the business success he has achieved and the personal impact he has had on his hometown. Motivated by his mother's battle with cancer, he envisioned and founded Camp Twin Lakes, which now serves thousands of children and sets the national standard for such camps. Larry was just one of the many who Doug persuaded to make his dream for Camp Twin Lakes come true. As you've heard tonight, Doug has chaired the boards of Children's Health Care, the Woodruff Arts Center, the Atlanta Committee for Progress, the Georgia Research Alliance, and countless other Atlanta institutions. And as Steve said, in his spare time, he also chaired the board of his alma mater, Tulane University. Doug's sense of responsibility for his community, his willingness to contribute his time, his very rare capacity to multitask at the highest level, and his penchant for leadership combined to make him one of our community's most effective, well-respected, and valued civic leaders. Doug has thrived and prospered in a robust, growing Atlanta, but Doug has given to Atlanta far more than he has taken. Doug, Atlanta is better because of you. Thank you for your myriad contributions to our city, but thank you especially for the standard you set for all of us in your commitment to our hometown.
Well, it's been a joy hosting y'all here tonight, and a great privilege paying tribute to Doug. Doug, congratulations, and most importantly, thank you for everything. After this, I can't help, Doug, but look back on this field and think about how much different it looks from our days every Friday afternoon when we played touch football in 7th grade. And gosh, I wish everybody were still here so we could do that together. Of course, we'd also need a football as well. Well, Arthur Blank thinks of everything. And now, everyone, before we hear from our honoree, we have a special tribute from Doug's friends, families, and colleagues. Doug, I hope you'll enjoy this, titled Patience and Perseverance. Thank you.
In the evenings in Rutledge, Georgia, when the wind is just right, you can sometimes hear the echoes of children's laughter and singing of campfire songs. No, this is not an old Georgia legend, but the sounds of a legendary place. Camp Twin Lakes, the summer camp created for children with medical challenges who ordinarily would not be able to have the summer camp experience. Camp Twin Lakes radiates quality, responsibility, vision, and integrity. And well, that comes as no surprise, as these are the same qualities the camp's founder, Doug Hertz, has. Doug's an Atlanta leader that has not only proven an acumen for business, but uses his success as a catalyst for giving back and positively touching people's lives. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, to a well-respected and flourishing family, Doug Hertz is the son of Jennings and Jill Hertz, and the older brother to a sister, Patty. Many of Doug's attributes are reflections of the caring guidance and involvement of his parents and grandparents. Doug's connection and love for Atlanta started early, where his young mind blossomed while at the esteemed Westminster School. After graduating high school, Doug left Atlanta for a new adventure in another classic city, New Orleans. It's here he attended Tulane University, where he earned an undergraduate degree in political science and an MBA in accounting and behavioral psychology. Doug's connection with Tulane runs deep, and his support continues to this day.
The motto of Tulane is not for oneself, but for one's own. And Doug Hertz, he personifies the Tulane values. And what's so noticeable is he's given to every different part of Tulane in terms of serving on committees as well as financially. He's always thinking about how best to move this place, Tulane University, forward.
Obviously, New Orleans is an easy city to fall in love with, but it turns out that Doug's heart wasn't with a place, but a person, a fellow Tulane student that would become his beautiful bride, Lila.
Our first date was we went to see All the President's Men. My first impressions were, this is a guy that's serious, he's focused, he's got plans, a strategy for what he wants to do in life. He knew what he wanted. Welcome to Denny's. Then he took me to Denny's for dinner. I don't think he wanted to invest too much.
I have now the great honor of introducing today's commencement.
Doug graduated from business school and I graduated from undergraduate school the same year. And I had applied to Case Western Reserve University for a PhD in psychology. And I had gotten accepted and my parents were so excited. When I got home, I told my parents I'm not coming back to school. I'm falling in love with Doug Hertz and we're going to get married someday. And they said, you're not going back to New Orleans unless you're engaged. I called up Doug crying and I told him the story that I wasn't allowed to come back. Doug slammed the phone down with me. Then he talked to his parents, he called me back and he said, all right, fine, we'll get married. And that's how we got engaged. We were really, really young when we started out. I was 22 when we got married and he was 24. Every time we would go visit my parents, my father would say to me, when are you having a baby? When are you having a baby? And I said, well, we're not financially ready for that yet. And he said, you will never be financially ready. Go on and have a baby. I want a grandchild.
And Doug and Lila granted that wish with welcoming their first child, Amy, into the world. And a few years later, a son, Michael.
There were definitely challenges in my childhood that Dad helped me through. Clearing your head and thinking about really what logically can we control is a lesson that Dad really taught me.
Dad's very good at helping you take a step back and look at the big picture and have a positive outlook on things, no matter what the challenge may be.
During this time of starting his own family, Doug also had growing responsibilities with the family business, United Distributors. At the time, United was a spirits distribution company focusing mainly in Atlanta, and Doug was the third generation to bring his talents to the business, joining his grandfather Jennings Hertz Sr. and his father Jennings Hertz Jr.
Jennings Sr. and Jennings Jr. were, in my opinion, in the business really different. His grandfather, he talked loud and he'd get his point across, but he was gentle as well. But he was a numbers guy. You know, he'd take those invoices back in the day before computers, and he could do it in his head. And that's what Doug really got that from his grandfather. That and the love of sports, I would say. Because his dad was totally different, much gentler, much softer, always dressed to the T, you know, Bob. And then so Doug got a lot of his qualities too. And that's what really made his management style. I think if you take Jennings Sr. and Jennings Jr. and roll those qualities together, you get a Doug Hertz.
Even at a young age, Doug was determined to make his mark at United, helping to foster and grow the business beyond the boundaries of Atlanta.
Today, almost 23,000 acres of grapes are under cultivation.
The wine business was not what it was in 1978, what it is today. Doug took off to California, had some friends, and they took him around and introduced him to the Mondavis, the Chincheros, the Jacksons, the Behringer people, and he comes in, gets all these wines signed up for the state of Georgia.
You're talking about the late 70s, early 80s. You know, wine, generally speaking, at that point in time, it was jug wine. Nowhere was really a wine town, so to speak. But Doug certainly had the foresight and the vision to say that we would become one. He could see the trend coming before it was here.
And at the same time, he's buying distributorship in Macon and one in Savannah and one in Brunswick. And it just kept growing and growing, and the portfolio changed.
And I think that's one of the things that, you know, we absolutely give Doug credit for, and I think he loves about the business. I mean, he loves being out there figuring what may come next. That's why, you know, went from wine to having beer, and quite frankly, having all three under the same roof. It's how we got to be the biggest in the state, the most important in the state.
A family business currently into its fourth generation of leadership.
Enjoying success at United through his growing impact in the Southeast, Doug turned his talents outward.
So let me switch to quote your other job.
Yeah.
And that's community.
Becoming committed to following the Atlanta way, supporting and giving back to the community he calls home.
And Doug has personified what most corporations in Atlanta have come to learn and understand, in that the leadership is expected to be involved in Atlanta, in the state, in the community, and giving back and leading the state to be a better community. And Doug's done that in so many ways. He's always been there, always been sleeves rolled up, hands on, and doing the hard work.
He understands issues, he follows it through, he's meticulous in what he does, he plans things out, he's got a strategic mind, and he knows how to deal with people, which is more important than anything in the world.
I'd like to thank our political leaders as well as our corporate leaders.
In Hebrew, interesting enough, there is no word for charity. The word that comes closest is tzedek, which means justice. It's not charity when you give of yourself, philanthropically or otherwise. You are practicing justice. You do it because it is the just thing to do. And boy, that is a signpost, the signature of Doug's life, I would say.
One of the biggest civic challenges Doug faced involved a complex pediatric care system in Atlanta.
Doug was the instrumental person in bringing Scottish Rite and Children's together in what is now Children's Healthcare.
Both children's hospitals were looking at what were the best options for them to survive into the future. And so people like Doug Hertz and a small group of other individuals got together, and they agreed very quickly that the two missions of Eggleston and Scottish Rite were absolutely aligned, and that if they could put those together, they could protect pediatrics for Atlanta and Georgia for generations to come. And that was really the foundation for the merger. And it's been far more successful than any of us could have ever imagined.
But Doug didn't stop with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. His parents instilled a love for the arts within Doug, and he knows that a successful city must have a vibrant artistic community.
It would be difficult to understate the importance of the Hertz entire family for the Woodruff Arts Center. And Doug's generation before and the current generations have been incredibly important to help grow, sustain, advocate for the value of arts and culture in general, whether it's in the community, at the legislature, in all walks of Atlanta.
Always looking for new ways to improve and grow Atlanta the right way, Doug contributes to the Atlanta Committee for Progress, a partnership between top business, civic, academic leaders, and the mayor of Atlanta. Even with all of these accomplishments, I think it's safe to say that the one that is dearest to his heart is the camp that means so much to so many kids. Doug was a volunteer and on the board of Dorothy and Hamilton Jordan's Camp Sunshine, one of many specialized camps for children with special needs. When Doug saw that many of the other camps were all competing for the same or similar locations, Doug had the idea of consolidating all of the camps into one, and Camp Twin Lakes was born.
I think of all the times I've spent with Doug, one of the ones that stands out, absolute top of the top, was when he took me with him and we drove down to Twin Lakes, and he gave me a personal one-on-one tour. When he was pointing out whether it was this iron lung or this ward where the kids are too sick to be around any other kids and yet they're there at camp, you could see it's way more than pride. It was just this sense of, gosh, it was really humility, how fortunate I am to have been involved.
And any story about Doug Hertz wouldn't be complete without including his love of sports. From mentoring kids through coaching to his mythical status on the golf course, Doug's love for competition and athletics pumps through his heart and soul.
Doug adores sports. Anyone that knows him knows how much he adores sports. He loves playing them, he loves coaching them, he loves watching them.
Dad was my coach quite a bit, and it was fun playing for him as a kid. He was a really good coach, and a lot of my friends really respected him, which I think says a lot, even to this day.
And I met Doug at 13 years old, and he was the first person that taught me and showed me how to play the game of basketball. He taught me loyalty. He taught me how to be responsible. He taught me how to be a man of my word.
James ended up at Georgia Tech and was a superstar at Georgia Tech.
I remember when he coached me when I was playing basketball with him. I remember he got a technical foul while we were playing and they kicked him out of the game. And the referee kicked him out and he left and went out of the game and he went behind the curtain and hid behind the curtain. He was still yelling, calling out instruction and plays, and the referee was going back and forth. He's like, I kicked you out of here. I'm not on the floor. You're not supposed to be in there. I'm not in the way. And that went on. I'm looking at this guy like, wow, this guy has a lot of fire.
And the ultimate win for Doug came in a unique opportunity, the invitation to be a minority owner of the Atlanta Falcons.
Doug has been a perfect model as a partner owner because he's engaged, he's supportive, he's a very active fan, a great cheerleader. But also when things don't go well, he always finds a way to be positive, always finds a way to encourage us. Our coaches, when it comes to practice and things of that nature, he makes them feel like, hey, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. We love what you're doing, we love the effort, the results will be there. And he has that personality, and I'm blessed to have him as a partner.
And like any good coach, Doug passes on what he learned from his parents and grandparents to his new team, his beloved grandchildren.
There's nothing I love more than seeing my parents with my kids. My dad has coached my oldest son in basketball, like he coached Michael, and a little bit of me too. Just seeing them on the court together, like I could break down in tears at any given moment when I'm just looking out there at them.
Having Dad as a grandfather to my kids has been really special. Dad has a very unique talent in being able to make a baby smile and giggle and laugh.
When you reflect on all of Doug's achievements and look at the ones still in progress, you are simply inspired. It only makes sense that someone who was encouraged by previous generations would work today to influence and energize future generations. So thank you, Doug, for the patience and perseverance. All of Atlanta wants to be on your team.
Doug, it's been a wonderful evening. The Council for Quality Growth could not be more pleased to have this opportunity to pay tribute to you, your accomplishments, and for all you have done for this community.
Doug, this award is inscribed with the words quality, responsibility, vision, integrity. In tribute to Douglas J. Hertz, Council for Quality Growth 2020 4-Pillar Award. It is our personal pleasure on behalf of the Council to present you with the 4-Pillar Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Council for Quality Growth's 2020 4-Pillar Tribute honoree, Mr. Doug Hertz.
Would you like to say a few words?
Just say a few words. Those of you who know me well know that that's an impossibility for me just to say a few words. But I do want to say that it's a unique privilege to hear one's eulogy before they're dead. But I'm appreciative of all the nice things that have been said tonight. I want to just take a second to thank so many folks. First, the Council for Quality Growth, its board chair, Paul Corley, impresario, Michael Paris. Particular thanks to Rebecca Babovich and Lori Smith for all the work that you guys have done, your flexibility during really difficult times to make this such a special evening for me and for my family, and hopefully a financial success for the council. A particular shout out as well to Arthur and Bernie for agreeing to be honorary chairs, and to so many of my friends and my business colleagues who were kind enough to be dinner hosts and tribute sponsors, as well as to all of those who took the time and made the effort to participate in the video, which I can assure you will be a lifetime keepsake. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my family, my bride, Lila, my kids, my grandkids, for all of their support and their excitement around this evening. It's really special for all of us. Lastly, certainly not least, let me express my admiration and appreciation to those who were nice enough to accept my invitation to speak about me this evening. So to Shan, my great friend and who works tirelessly every day trying to make the city of Atlanta a better place. Shan's been my partner at ACP, Georgia Power, Atlantic Capital, the Woodruff Arts Center, and probably a few other places that I'm just not even aware of. To Larry, last year's 4-Pillar honoree, and my cohort on so many of my civic projects over the years, including, as he said, helping to get Camp Twin Lakes built 30 years ago, the merger of Eggleston and Scottish Rite, the growth of Georgia Research Alliance, and the survival and resurgence of the Woodruff Arts Center, and most importantly, a board member of United Distributors and thus a trusted advisor to my kids, Michael and Amy. To Russ, the steady hand and my personal sounding board who helped enable all of those projects that I worked on with Larry to be successful. Russ probably has the best macro view of everything happening in Atlanta and everything that should happen in Atlanta. besides all of that, he has a great family, they're great friends, and he's a great role model for my kids and for so many people in the community. And to Steve, my longtime friend and another past four-pillar honoree, our families have shared many experiences over multiple generations. All I can say is how grateful I am for your friendship and that I am keenly aware of how hard you worked to make this a successful event for the council and a special evening for me. And to Comer, my buddy since kindergarten, and all but adopted son of my parents, and thus a member of our family. Comer, for lack of a better description, is my moral compass. Not that I always agree with him, but as much as I hate to admit it, he always makes me think through a position or a belief. I admire him from transitioning from law to become one of the country's leading experts on early childhood learning, and his service to young people is exemplary. I can't think of a better person in whom to entrust the counsel for my children and my grandchildren. So now that I've thanked everybody, I think, a couple of personal thoughts. I've been asked many times over the years why more people haven't wanted to get involved in the community. Why haven't others been more willing to tackle some of the complex issues that present themselves in our society? What stifles folks from being innovative or from choosing different paths to solutions? Emanating from my love of history and my study of organizational psychology and the study of human behavior, I've noticed that the primary reason that most people don't do things entrepreneurial, don't try to reach unreachable or difficult goal, is simply that it takes a lot of hard work, and primarily, there's always a fear of failure. The fear of failure or peer embarrassment is a powerful deterrent to most, and certainly was to me when I was younger. I've had Teddy Roosevelt's speech, dubbed "The Man in the Arena," on my desk in my office for the last 40 years. It's pushed me through the fear of failure. For those of you who are not familiar with it, just indulge me for a second. He said, in part, since it was a 40-minute speech, it's not the critic who counts, it's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error. There's no effort without shortcoming. But the man who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I look at that every morning. There are two lessons that I have tried to follow, each leading to the theme of patience and perseverance. They are the previously referenced quote from Teddy Roosevelt and another summation from my father. Teddy and my dad were not exactly philosophical soulmates, but Roosevelt's Man in the Arena speech was a call to action for me, and damn the naysayers. You'll never accomplish anything worthwhile unless you try, and if you're going to try, you might as well give it your best. Don't worry about what others may say. or how hard the work they may tell you it's going to be, anything worth accomplishing isn't going to be easy. And sometimes you just have to try over and over again with different approaches and ask for a lot of help. But when you succeed, what a great feeling to see how many others could benefit. Perseverance can win the day. My dad's advice was that the greatest compliment that one should aspire is to have people say he or she is a fair person. He'd go on to say that one could be successful and still be fair. In some cases, they were successful because they were fair. He would say, I should always put myself in the other person's shoes. What would they want? What's important to them? What is their timeline? He'd say to me, you gotta be patient. Not everybody's on the same schedule as you are. Patience, my boy, patience. Sometimes you just have to grind it out. And any deal or any agreement or any result has to be good for everybody, or it's not good for anybody. Which brings me to today and the divisiveness in our country, our state, our city. I love Atlanta. It's my birthplace, it's my home, and I want it to thrive and succeed. I believe for the most part in the macro, the answer to the questions of what do people want and what's important to them is the same for almost everyone. They want their freedoms, they want their health, their safety, educational and economic opportunity, better lives for their children, and they want respect. The answer to the question of why do people think the way they do is similar as well. Their beliefs are based on their own life's experiences. And since each of us are shaped by our individual experiences, which are very, very different, we thus come to different conclusions and viewpoints. If we could just learn to understand that and listen with respect to those with differing views, we could gain an appreciation for how and why they're different, at least begin to have civil discourse and make real progress. Whether the topic is racial inequity, the COVID virus, justice, education, or health care, it'll take a lot more listening, a lot more respect for each other, a recognition that most of us really want the same things. For sure, it's going to take a healthy dose of patience and perseverance to make progress. I promise that I will continue to try to do my part in some small way, and I hope others will too. I thank you for recognizing me with this great honor, the 4-Pillar Award. And again, I appreciate all those who took so much time and made so much effort and worked so hard to make this a success in a really difficult time. And a special thanks to those of you at home who have given of your evening to join us and tune in and watch. Though I certainly miss the hugs and the handshakes, the one thing I do know for sure is that shorts and sweats and pajamas at home sure beat the hell out of a black tie. Thank you very, very much. Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Council for Quality Growth thanks you for being with us to honor Doug tonight.
Thank you to our sponsors, tribute chairs, host committee, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and everyone who helped us put this tribute together.
To see us off this evening, please enjoy an original song of hope for the future, composed and performed by members of the 2020 Alliance Theater Palevsky Collision Project. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Every morning I look up and say, thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. But when I look around and notice all the violence and pain, it makes my happy day just waste away. I wish that people would just understand we can go hand in hand together. And I know that I'm loving the skin that I'm in, and if the world could feel the same, then we'd be happy again. So just hold me close, don't let me go. There's a million things that you and I still don't know. We can make a change, learn each other's ways, come together, be the sunshine after the rain. Forget color, accept one another. In times like this, we just gotta love each other. So hold your head up and say, I'm loving everybody at the end of the day. Every morning I look up and say, thank you, Lord, for giving me another day. But when I look around and notice all the violence and pain, it makes my happy day just waste away. I wish the people would just understand we can go hand in hand together. And I know that I'm loving the skin that I'm in, and if the world could feel the same, then we'd be happy again. So just hold me close, don't let me go. There's a million things that you and I still don't know. We can make a change, learn each other's ways, come together, be the sunshine after the rain. Forget colors, accept one another. In times like this, we just gotta love each other. So hold your head up and say, I'm loving everybody at the end of the day.